Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Public Works and Safety Committee meeting on Monday, October 28th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
All right. Alderman Kamaki.
Here.
Alderman Schwer.
Here.
Alderman Madden. Here. Director Kreger.
Here.
Chief Westfall.
Here.
Statement of public notice.
Meeting was noticed in accordance with public meeting laws on October 17th.
Approval of minutes. We have several minutes stretching back to 2022. Are there any minutes that anyone would like to pull, to change, or modify? If not, I'm looking for an approval for the minutes of January 18th, 2022, April 19th, 2022, June 13th, 2022, July 18th, 2022, October 17th, 2022, March 20th, 2023, May 15th, 2023, August 21st, 2023, March 18th, 2024, May 20th, 2024, and July 15th, 2024.
Motion to approve and gross.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Approval of minutes passes. Status of projects. Scott.
Okay, let's start with Hillendale Drive reconstruction project. So we are getting very close to finishing that project. The game plan is for this Friday, November 1st, to put the surface course on the road. Landscaping should be done by tomorrow. Our weather's looking very favorable. That's October 29th. After the final surface goes down, the four major items that we have left, we need to do some shouldering, then we have to do pavement marking, then we have to do signs and some installation of signs, and then the most important is get the mailboxes back. That's usually what the residents need the most, is get their mailboxes back. So then we should be all set and ready to go on it. So it's looking pretty good. You can drive through it. We don't have the final surface, but if you guys want to go take a peek, go ahead. So.
Great, thank you. Road program.
Road program for 2024. So our road program for 2024 got wrapped up last week. The last road that we did was Lincoln. So it's all wrapped up. All restorations done. Everything's done. Just going through the last bit of quantities and the last payment application. And then we focus on the 2025 road program, looking at the next roads and hopefully getting that out to bid sometime in March of 2025.
Great, thank you. And PP2.
Okay. This is our PPII program through MMSD. So when we started this program, we had 67 homes signed up for the program, but we were going to do it in two phases. So we had 67 homes signed up for the program. In the fall of 2024, we completed 34 of those homes with replacement of their sanitary sewer lateral on their private property. We then had 4 homes that we had to remove from the project. Either it didn't work out financially, they dropped out of the program, a variety of reasons. And now we're all buttoned up for the year. And then in the spring of 2025, we have 28 more properties remaining. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to get to all those 28 properties. When we go through them, sometimes it doesn't work out, or a person goes, I don't want you to rip up my lateral because it's over a brand new concrete pavement of my driveway, or they don't want to take down a tree. So, but we did pretty good. We had 34 out of 39, so.
Great, thank you, Scott. Chief, police updates.
Good evening. First is a warning. As you leave here, it could get quite scary. We have a trunk or treat occurring in the parking lot. So feel free to walk by and see if you can see anything. It was a nice event last year, a little cooler. It just seems to be a nicer evening this evening. So stop by and say hello. Officer X and Officer Kinney recently finished their probationary period. Officer Christolidis and his canine partner Tito at Muskego High School received an award from school district personnel from across the state reference innovations in school safety. So I just wanted to say thank you to those individuals for all of their work. Specifically, canine coordinator Sean Dietrich has been instrumental in getting that program off the ground, specifically for Tito. I'd also like to point out that Mariner Manor, which you guys have approved, has been pretty popular over in that house, and a lot of the proceeds that are being collected as a donation are coming back to our canine program for the people that are doing that. I'd also like to point out that oftentimes when you guys are up here approving things for public safety, they're just not lines on a page. They have meaning when it comes to things that we do at the police department collectively. About a week and a half ago, you got a message from Mayor Petfalski. We had somebody in mental health distress on Big Muskego Lake, and it was a pretty significant issue. This person was having an issue with their kayak and then also having some mental health crisis. We were able to find that individual relatively quickly through the use of a drone that you guys have previously approved through our capital projects. And I'm pleased to say that, we are part of the Suburban Critical Incident Team, but specifically Jake from IT. They also have a drone, and Jake came out and assisted officers in finding that individual on Big Muskego Lake. It's so significant that the fire department passed this individual on the lake, and the drone was actually able to bring the fire department and the rescue personnel to that individual. So I wanted to say thank you for continuing to support us financially in other ways, but that's just one of the great things that we do here in the city of Muskego. With that, and I'm pleased to announce that some of the capital projects that you approved, yes, there's a laundry list of them, but I'm going to highlight, we were approved for additional digital signage for the speed, and then also radar units for the squads that they haven't been updated in over a decade. So we're pleased to be able to do that, moving in a direction. Here's one that I'm just kind of letting you know. We approved a stop sign in Champions Village recently as part of this committee, and some of our officers are actually getting complaints that we're stopping too many cars. And writing citations. It is finding that balance of where we need to be, but we can't discriminate if somebody violates that stop sign, which is oftentimes what we find is the complaints are from their neighbors themselves, and we end up writing the people that make the complaints. Clearly, that's not ideal. We want to make sure that we're being safe and we're impacting public safety in that capacity. With that, again, you've heard me at Common Council talk about this. Our calls for service are increasing. Our traffic crashes are increasing. The population here is increasing. And it is something that should be on our forefront when we're thinking about public safety in the future. Lastly, I just would like to report on staffing. We're currently at 100% staffing. However, 2 of our individuals are still in the academy, and that's about a 5-month course. Sarah Tuchel, Officer Tuchel, recently won the Top Shot Award at WCTC in her academy. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she's the first female to win that award since doing that competition shoot at WCTC. And Joaquin Vega Gonzalez, through the first round and iteration of his testing, received the highest GPA and the test score in his first round. So we're very happy with those 2 individual performance. Pending your questions, that concludes my update from the police department.
Thank you, Chief. John, speaking for the community, we're all proud of our police department. You guys do a heck of a job. Thank you.
Thank you.
There is no unfinished business. New business, Kirkland Crossing Phase 1 public improvements approval.
So this is probably, it's been out there for a little bit. This is probably the biggest residential subdivision that has come in a long time. So what we have here is just for phase 1, which is 66 lots. The entranceway will be off of Martin, just across from East Drive, and there'll be another connection on College. We're going to wait until we get the map up. Oh, stop right there. There's a good one. Yep, that's a good overview of it. So in the shaded area, that's the phase 1 we're doing. All right, the main entrance is off of Martin Drive there, right across from East Drive, and then if you're looking, the secondary access point is off of College Drive there. That first phase includes 66 lots. There'll be public water main, there'll be public sanitary sewer, there'll be storm sewer with ponds, and there'll be a booster station for water so that they have pressure. What they have all their approvals right now, except for their water is being approved right now by the DNR, and the DA is at our city attorney being reviewed as well. So the game plan, last I heard from the developer, is once they achieved all approvals, they would like to start with utility work sometime this winter. So
Is there a motion to approve those improvements?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Request for stop signs. Oh, you're dead. Oh, no. Use mine.
No, that's all right.
Request for stop signs on Haven Drive at intersection of Joel Drive. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Scott?
No, it was just, for the stop signs, Alderperson Schreier brought this. We have a two-way stop right there, once when he gets to it. And the idea is going from a two-way to a four-way. There were some concerns with the residents. I believe a couple residents are here. If you would like to come and speak, feel free. We are looking at this just from, if you go back down one more. So go back one more.
Yep.
I always like to say, yeah, that's good. Yep. In the last 5 years, the only traffic complaints we see regarding the intersection, juveniles riding some mini bikes, one traffic stop for a stop sign violation, a suspicious looking van that was never found, and a reckless driving complaint for speeding where the complaint was flipped off by the driver. So we just go through last year, 5-year reports. So.
My name's Robert Ware. I live on the corner of Haven and Joel, South 81, West 175, Haven. I've been there 28 years, raised my family there, and the whole subdivision has switched now. A lot of empty nesters moved out. We have new families in, a lot of little kids. My grandkids there now, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They run across the street. We walk them across. They go play with my neighbor Nate's kids. And the kids will be kids, but it's from Lannon all the way to Brennan Street. It's almost 4/10 of a mile of straight shot. And the only cross section is Haven and Joel. And the cars are just going way too fast through there. It's supposed to be 25 in there. You're probably going double that, some of them. So that's the issue. Just would like to see a 4-way stop put in there just to slow it down a little bit before something bad happens. Thank you.
Okay. Chief, are 4-way stops effective in controlling traffic?
That's always the question of, it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on if it's going to slow down traffic, and sometimes you also get the opposite complaints of you're going to hear braking. You're also going to hear the acceleration of the vehicle from the stop to the continuation. However, we haven't had a lot of, accidents or crashes in this specific intersection, but the answer is it depends.
Okay.
Hi there. Nate Worden. I live across the street on the corner of Haven and Joel. Moved to Muskego.
Give us your address.
17604 Haven Drive.
Okay.
Moved to Muskego last year, and 2 kids, 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and we're always playing outside. And that corner lot has actually become like a hub for a lot of the kids in the neighborhood to come and play in our yard, and we encourage it. A lot of kids are coming over there. There's just, since we moved in here last summer, we have just seen so many cars speeding, not looking where they're going. Just 2 weeks ago, when the bus was pulling up and pulled out their stop sign so the kids could get off, another lady was just driving right past, didn't see the bus, and almost hit a couple kids going through. But if we had 4-way stop sign there, that would definitely help with that traffic, and I would feel much better about my kids playing in the front yard. We're in a subdivision, so I should feel safe with my kids being in the front yard, and it'd be nice to have a 4-way stop there.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Other discussion from the committee members?
Yeah,
I just want to say one more thing. Like you said, hearing cars stop and start. I'd rather have my grandkids safe than listening to some cars. That shouldn't even be in the question.
Yeah, I took a drive through this area as well, and I saw what they're both saying. And the big thing for me is this is a school bus stop. So you have kids out there in the morning, and then in the afternoon. It's not a big artery street, but it is still a through street where you do get cars clipping along. So I think adding the extra 2 stop signs, forcing cars to slow down, really improve the safety, especially the kids waiting at the bus stops.
So the signs exist now on Joel Drive?
Correct.
And is Haven's a longer stretch, isn't it? Or is Joel a longer stretch? I thought Haven was a longer stretch.
Let me check.
Both look mine to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yes. They're about the same.
Same?
Yeah, they're about the same. Just, I mean, it's really close, so.
Okay.
Okay, so there's Brennan and Lannon.
Yep.
That's Haven, and then Joel, Scenic
Scenic
to Lannon.
Okay.
So they are almost like.
Gotcha, thank you. Any other comments or recommendation from the committee?
My recommendation will be to approve it, but if you're even looking at the map, it's back in tucked in neighborhood. So it's not like most people aren't gonna be affected by this. It's the residents that drive through that area, and those are the ones who want it. So,
And probably the ones who will get ticketed.
yeah.
More than likely. Okay, if we're ready for a vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion passes. Request for traffic study for Chess Corners Drive and Woods Road intersection.
Sure. Alderperson Wolf asked whether or not I could bring to this committee to request a traffic study for the intersection of Test Corners and Woods Road. So, first of all, if you know where that is, when you could just show the map a little. Yeah. So, what's kind of happening is during like peak hours in the morning and afternoon, the traffic can back up here. What we have found, and I think what it has happened is, this route is one of the main routes to go through Muskego to get to Franklin back and forth. What has occurred is when Moreland Road was being done, when the Great Water Alliance was being done, people found this as a secondary access point, and people have continued to use this way. If you're traveling through, let's say you live in Big Bend, Vernon, you're going through, this is a good way to get to Franklin. So what happens is we have seen cars queuing up at this intersection. And there was a request, if you can go back up, I need 1 sec. Yep, just the memo. There was one person request, and this would be a traffic study. So what I did is I got a quote from, and we can go out to several consultants, but I just wanted to get you a quote. This would be a traffic study that would do, it's anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000. They would do peak hour turning movement at Test Corners and Woods Road intersection. They would look at the crash history review, single warrant analysis. What that means is whether or not it requires signals, operations analysis and recommendations, report memo, and a meeting. So again, they would look at everything. Do you need separate right turn lanes? Do you need a separate left turn lane? You know, they would kind of go through that whole thing. Right now, there's no separate right or left turn lanes at any of the intersection. There are residential driveways, especially on the east leg of Test Corners near the intersection. I think this is where it runs into trouble. As it starts backing up, people want to try to get in and out of their driveway. And if you drive it, you can see they're kind of close to that intersection. Also, too, is we have a police report for the last 5 years. Accidents, injuries, 4. Accident, property damage, 12. Accidents, hit and run 1. So in order, if you wanted to make improvements, you first have to do this study. And that study would give you recommendations. Now, again, one of these probably recommendations could be or could not be to do a roundabout, kind of like what you've seen at Woods and, Moreland Drive. Again, also, too, though, once you have a roundabout, you have to buy land because I don't know if there's enough right away there to do it. Signals, when you have signals, you have to maintain them. These are all different, cost benefits when you look at doing this. So right now, in order to get an idea of what's going on, you would have to probably do a traffic study. We don't have the tools in-house to do this. So What I'm doing is bringing it to you guys to see whether or not you want to move forward. Once it goes forward, go to Common Council and Finance, and we try to figure out how to get the money for $5 to $7 grand to do it, so.
I know one of the issues for me is we don't have any money to do this. I go through that intersection periodically, not at peak times, when I'm on my way to Menards. I find it difficult to plan for peaks in anything. And what we're doing is we're just looking at certain peak hours where it just happens that there's a whole lot of traffic at that point. It's like freeways. I mean, how do you
So
have a 16-lane freeway for those peak times?
what you're kind of talking about is we rate, intersections are rated, level of service, highways are level. A is the best, E is the worst, So what you're trying to look at is, do you need to have as a city everything to run A? Or in some particular cases, are you okay with level of service being a little lower at your peak hours of time? You remember, whatever you do as you expand this intersection, that means it's going to cost more maintenance as we go down the road. If we have a larger intersection, we have to do more pavement removal, more plowing. If we have singles, we got to take care of those singles. If you have to do a roundabout, you have to either buy right away if we don't have it, and then you have to maintain a roundabout. So what you're asking yourself is kind of exact. How good a level of service do you want to have? So just to let you know too, in 7 years, this is the first time that someone has brought this up. And I've not received another complaint since bringing this. I always like to let people know, so.
And if traffic does back up, I mean, Janesville Road's a perfectly fine road for getting to the south and east.
People tend to find other access.
As a reminder, you guys also lowered the speed limit on test corners.
Correct.
Which lowers the throughput. For safety reasons, I understand it, but that means less cars can make it through that at that specific time. But you are talking about that 5 o'clock or after school, in that window where it does get backed up test corners, and the intersection's not perpendicular, which is part of the other concern.
Yeah, we would try to make improvements. When it's not 90, people slow down a little bit more. It's hard to look both ways. So it's not your ideal intersection, so.
You mentioned you rate intersections?
Usually, I don't rate them, but usually the traffic analysis people do. That's what they do. So usually what occurs is like, if they start rating them and they start getting like D's or E's, that's usually when they get kicked up. And I'm talking more of like Wisconsin DOT, as they get kicked up in the planning process to, we need to somehow increase the capacity of this road, so.
Other comments from the committee?
So if we do this analysis and they come back and they say, yeah, folks, you need to put a roundabout in there and you need to widen the road over there and you need to add a couple turn lanes, what is our liability or our responsibility on getting it done?
I mean, again, you're not directed, no one's directing you to do it. It's more of just increasing the safety and / the capacity for better traffic. Do you want to level A? Now, from a safety standpoint, for injuries, property damage, it's not like you're really having any major concerns where I feel like the safety is doing it. And it's more been, how do we move traffic through this? But again, once you get that, it's just a traffic study. There's no one saying that you have to do it. There's no authorization by Wisconsin DOT saying that you should have to do this and increase this intersection. And they give you a wide range of different choices. That's their job, is to give you 5 choices. And one of them sometimes is do nothing. That's usually the first choice, So
we want to spend $5,000 to find out what we already know, that it's a very busy road and things have to get looked at and fixed at some point, but right now we're broke.
This is up for you. I just give you the kind of like discussion points and give you cost estimate that you guys can make a decision on, so.
Yeah, just building off of that, we all know we went through a very tough 2025 budget. I don't see where, at the beginning of the year, where we're going to pull 5,000 to 7,000 right away. The only thought is if there's any surplus in the 24 budget anywhere but regardless, it's not built into the capital budget and wouldn't be until a 26 or 27 project. So, and by that, quotes will change and you'll just redo the exercise again.
I too would be hard pressed to recommend that. Okay. Motion's on the floor. Vote yea if you're in favor of the study, nay if you're not. Fire away. Oh, is there a motion on the floor?
I make a motion to deny.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of denying the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion denied. Okay. There's no other business placed on file. Communications, miscellaneous business is authorized by law. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Could I ask for something to be on for another meeting?
Sure.
Okay. On Racine Avenue, I have a constituent that has asked, and I talked to Scott about this in the past, there's no parking by the high school anytime, like Monday through Friday and weekends. And she's just requesting to change those signs to be no parking between 7 a.m. and like 3 p.m. or whatever, or 5 p.m. And then, so people can park there in the evening or on the weekends when she has guests, because right now it's no parking anytime on Racine Avenue south of the high school.
Do we have jurisdiction over that county road?
Oh, we don't.
No.
So how do we go about?
County?
You would have to request it. I will email you.
Because we did talk about this.
Yeah, let me email you. There's a couple people in the engineering department. Brett Wallace would be the engineering manager. And I can email you tomorrow his contact information. And that would be a good person to start with. And then he runs that whole department over there.
Okay. Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right. There's a motion on the floor to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 5:29.